Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Ask Mary Anything Within Reason. It is so good to be back with you after, I don't know, it feels like I've been gone forever, but I'm very happy to be here. And let's just jump right in because, as you may well be aware, there's a lot going on in America, perhaps too much. But let's see what is on your minds. First of all, M&M, thank you so much. We very much appreciate your becoming a new member. I will talk about that later. Electron Creations, another new member. Thank you very much. Love it. And another one, Francis. That's fantastic. All right. Ms. Martian. Good day, everyone. Question. Is Donald's reaction to LA yesterday and today a result of his dissatisfaction with the breakup of Musk? No. Donald has been waiting for this opportunity for a very long time now. He didn't have the chance after George Floyd was murdered, but he has been waiting. I mean, we know that he wanted to, that he ordered National Guard and police officers to attack peaceful protesters in Lafayette Square who were protesting the murder of George Floyd. We know that a lot of people have been worried about how he would handle the kinds of protests that have been going on around the country. You know, would he try to stir things up, or would he order people to stir things up to create an excuse to deploy troops against American citizens? And guess what? That is exactly what's happened in LA. So it's very important to remember what's going on here. It is not that peaceful protesters who are protesting against the immigration policies of this regime, it's not that they are out of control or doing anything illegal. They are exercising their First Amendment rights to protest peacefully. What's happening is that ICE agents are being authorized to exacerbate the situation, and Donald is using that situation to take over California's National Guard. Now remember, the National Guard, every state has its own National Guard, and the governor of that state is in charge of it, the commander-in-chief, if you will, of that state's National Guard. There are very rare circumstances in which the president of the United States can take over the National Guard of a particular state, but it basically never happens. So the last time it happened was during George H.W. Bush's administration, and it was with what state was it? It was California, and it was during the Rodney King riots, and the governor of California asked the president of the United States to take over and deploy National Guard troops to quell the riots. It wasn't the last time the National Guard in any state was taken over by the president of the United States was during the Civil Rights era, when Southern governors refused to allow Black students to attend schools as had been ordered by the Supreme Court. So it was President Johnson who took over the National Guard. And that was, in that instance, it was to promote democracy because the governors were defying orders. Right? So that's a very different scenario. Now, what Donald is doing is he is taking over California's National Guard without the permission of the governor in order to thwart democracy. And again, he's been looking for this for a very long time. It's going to create violence. It's going to create bloodshed. And he's going to use that as sort of his Reichstag moment. Right? Oh, look, everything's out of control now, so we have to institute martial law. And this is something that has been concerning me for a very, very long time. And here we are. So what I would say is that The Rubicon has been crossed, and it's time for us to recognize just how far down that slippery slope we are. M. Gross, question. Was the Dems' fatal flaw not voting to keep Donald from ever having an office 2021 instead of useless impeachments? Thanks. From ever having an office. Not sure what that means. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what having an office means, but I will continue. I will try to figure it out. And if somebody can clarify it, then I'm more than happy to answer the question. Oh, sorry. Let me assume for the sake of argument that what's meant here is from ever being in office. Yes, absolutely. I mean, just as the Republicans' fatal flaw or Mitch McConnell's fatal flaw was not getting rid of Donald when they could have. But, I mean, one of the worst, most troubling things about this era in which we live is that since 2015, there have been so many off-ramps away from him that would have kept him sidelined and would have kept him irrelevant, and they were not taken. Mostly by Republicans, but in some cases also by Democrats. Lori, question. Mary, how far do you think Donald will go with the military against the American people? As far as he wants to, as far as he is allowed to. That's how far. So let's not give this creep any benefit of the doubt here. He's a weak, flailing, failed man. He's desperate, and he's losing it. So, as I've said for a very long time now, if he feels like he's going down, he'll do whatever he can to take the rest of us down with him. Tina, question. Do you think Donald is trusting others behind the scenes is what to say to media? By trust, I mean Donald knows their stars tied to his, saying things out of character is why I asked. No, I think Donald is just saying whatever comes into his little head. I don't think that he's being, well, I mean, maybe somebody's trying to coach him. I don't think at this point he thinks that there's anything. I don't think at this point that he believes there's anything he can say that isn't just the most brilliant, amazing thing ever. So why would he need to listen to anybody else's advice? J Tor, question. Did anyone see Taco trip up the Air Force One stairs? Well, as a matter of fact, some people did. And we have a clip of it. So let's check this out. Gotta be honest with you. Kind of a good save. Sorry to say it. Could have been much worse. I kind of preferred the clip back during the first administration when he had toilet paper stuck to the bottom of his shoe and nobody bothered to tell him as he was climbing up the stairs to Air Force One. I also kind of like it when he had a fight with an umbrella and lost. But hey, listen, maybe that's going to be the first of many slip ups. Who knows? All right, sorry guys, something was wrong with my mic, but it's fixed now, so you can actually hear me. That was weird. All right, Avec Douglas 0155 question: the LA confrontation is this something that the felon wants to intensify? There are peaceful protests. What I heard, yeah, as I said earlier, this is absolutely the game plan. It has been all along. Create an exploit a situation in which people are peacefully protesting your own policies, create an incendiary situation in which your people, in this case, ICE agents, ramp up the tensions and hope there's violence and then use that as an excuse to call in the National Guard. I've heard that there are Pete Hegseth, who sadly is the Secretary of Defense, is leaving open the possibility of calling in active duty troops, which, by the way, is unconstitutional according to the Posse Comitatus Act. Yeah, create violence, create bloodshed, and then use that as an excuse to call for martial law. It's pretty simple, and here we are. It's a very, very bad situation. Paula, thank you, Paula, so much for becoming a new member. That's awesome. Astra, question. With all the civil unrest against ICE and world leaders hating your uncle, will he ever consider resigning? PM Carney's daughter is a student at Harvard. No, Donald is never going to resign because why? Well, one, he doesn't have to. There's literally no reason for him to resign. He's making so much money. He has more money now than he ever has. And he lives in a little bubble. He's surrounded by people who tell him how great he is all day long. And he's getting away with everything. Why resign? So the other thing is that resigning would mean admitting you'd done something wrong, right? That you'd made the wrong choice. And he's constitutionally incapable of that. Ask. Cool. Question. How did you like Coco Gauff fought back from a set down to beat Aryna Sabalenka 6-7, 6-2, 6-4 in roller coaster French Open final? I loved every second of it. I mean, I didn't love the first set because I have issues with Sabalenka, number one tennis player on the women's side, because she's a Belarusian who, from what I understand, has done practically nothing to separate herself from the government of Belarus, which the president of which is very close friends with Vladimir Putin. I have a problem with all Belarusian and Russian athletes who do not speak out against their respective governments. So there's that. Now, one of the things I like about tennis is it's an international sport, and it doesn't matter which country the players are from or represent. I'm making an exception here because if you're a Russian or Belarusian who supports Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, I kind of feel like you shouldn't be allowed to play the sport, but that's me. But I don't care if an American wins versus like my favorite tennis player is Alina Svitolina. She's Ukrainian. I always want Alina Svitolina to win. Doesn't matter. However, in this case, I mean, I think Coco Gauff is freaking amazing. She's one of my favorite tennis players. And the fact that she hung in there and basically cleaned Sabalenka's clock made me very happy, especially since Gauff is like 21 and she kept her cool in a way that was incredibly impressive. The conditions were terrible. It was very, very windy. Sabalenka kept having little temper tantrums. And after the match, she was such a bad sport. She said, first of all, it's not that Gauff won because she played well. It's because Sabalenka played the worst tennis she's ever played. Nice. And then she said that if Iga Swiatek, who's the number 2 women's player in the world and has won the last 3 French Opens, if Swiatek had played Gauff in the final, Swiatek would have beaten Gauff. Like, really? Like, that's your hypothetical? I mean, in what universe? Prove it. And also, it's just so disrespectful. It's just disgusting. Also, Coco Gauff has she's brilliant. Her politics are amazing. And she has done so much for the sport, but also for oppressed people in this country. So I'm ecstatic that Coco Gauff won the French Open. Thank you for asking. I don't know if you've noticed, but I kind of like talking about tennis. Not as much as I like playing it, but I could do both all day long. All right, Rob Law. Just wondering if any of the mainstream American media is reporting the news about the EU and Australia leadership disengaging their alliances with the U.S. At MS Martian, it's been on Sky News periodically. I've been out of pocket, as they say, most of the day, so I didn't know that. But I've been very, very worried since Donald started announcing his nominees for critical cabinet positions, like Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, a well-known Russian asset, referred to as Putin's girlfriend by Russia's state TV, Kash Patel, et cetera, that our allies, particularly those in the Five Eye countries, would cease to share intelligence with us. Donald has given them every reason not to. So it wouldn't surprise me, and it should be massive news. Why does it matter? Well, this country is under constant threat, and we need our allies sharing intelligence so that we know what those threats are and we can diffuse them, which is what happens on a daily basis. So if they stop sharing intelligence with us, guess what? That leaves us wide open for attacks. And it's a very, very dangerous situation. But then again, why would any of our allies trust this country at this point? I do not know the answer to that question. So yeah, it's alarming, and it should be that news should be everywhere, along with what's going on in LA. Jen, thank you so very much, Jen. That's awesome. Comment first. Congrats on 400K subscriber. Yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. Thanks to everybody who helped. Makes me happy. Second, just heard my hospital's closing their labor and delivery department due to decreasing birth rates and impending Medicaid cuts. Shit's getting real. Yeah, shit is getting real. I mean, honestly, out of that, impending Medicaid cuts, that's a terrible reason. But, if labor and delivery departments are getting closed because of decreasing need, I mean, I guess that makes sense, except for those people left who actually still need those services. But, what's equally or perhaps even more alarming is hospitals closing labor and delivery departments because they can't find doctors. Because a lot of doctors are fleeing from red states because they are not allowed to be doctors when it comes to women's reproductive rights. Yeah. Got a bunch of lawyers making medical decisions, and that just doesn't fly with a lot of people. Also, a lot of doctors are worried about getting sued if they treat their patients as they know they should be treated. Jane, thank you so much, Jane. That's great. Comment, protests in Chicago have been peaceful so far, but question, should I be concerned about participating? I'm going anyway. I have to be honest with you. I think in Chicago, you're going to be just fine. It's a blue city. You've got a phenomenal governor in J.B. Pritzker. So go forth and protest. However, we are at this inflection point. And, you could argue that it's more important to protest in situations in which it isn't as safe. I mean, I'm not telling anybody to go out and risk their safety, but I think that, we're getting to this point now where we're going to have to make some very hard choices about how we want to participate and how we want to be on the right side of things. So, yeah. All the more reason, though, for those of us who are in safe places to show up in even greater numbers. Brad, thank you as always, Brad. That's awesome. Question, why did they sell the house after Gam's death? Because nobody was living there anymore. It was empty, and, all of my grandparents' children, or the remaining 4, had their own lives, had their own families, had their own places. So there was literally no reason to keep it. Plus, money. Lauren, thank you so much for being a super sticker. Rick Robin, I don't, wow, I want to know what that currency is, but whatever it is, thank you very, very much. Comment, your uncle and his sycophants should resign, or else the protests will devolve into full-blown riots, just like the 1992 LA riots. Yeah, I mean, the difference being in this case is that the riots will have been provoked by the policies and incendiary behavior of the Trump regime. Like they want this to happen. They don't want to stop the riots. They want to inflame them. BN super sticker. Thanks so very much for that. Emerjudo Glockins. Fascinating. Thank you very much for your gift. Much appreciated. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Oh, wow. Christina, thank you so very much. 1 for being a super sticker and 2 for that. Excellent. Saber Saki, thank you for that. Question, I'm in LA. Should I worry about NG coming to 614 No Kings protest? NG, who's NG? I feel like I should know. Oh, the National Guard. Sorry. I was thinking it was a person. Yeah, probably. Sorry. I'm sorry to say that, but you know, we'll I mean, that's what, a little less, that's 6 days from now. We'll know a lot more before then. But again, it depends on what Newsom does, what Mayor Karen Bass of LA does. And it also depends on our courage, honestly, in the face of this authoritarian move. I mean, it is literally it is out of a page, it's out of Hitler's playbook. It's exactly what he did with the Reichstag fire. So, you know, we have to be careful. And Mercedes just reminded me to tell you guys that if you are attending a protest, you have to bring a backpack. You need rags, you need milk, like in case you get what's it called, that spray? It's, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Masks, good masks. Rate the number of your emergency contact on your arm with an indelible marker. Obviously bring water too. You know, there are ways to be prepared so you can stay safer. And don't go alone. There's that too. What is that? Like, why can't I think of what that stuff is called? My goodness. Tear gas. Yes, the stuff that makes you cry tears. And yes, if you do get arrested, do not speak. We cannot trust these people at all. Also, if you bring a phone with you, disable face recognition. Why? Well, 1, it makes it harder for them to get into your phone. 2, because, you know, if they can take your phone, but all they would need to do is hold it up in front of you to get it to open. If you disable face recognition, they cannot force you to give you their password. Sorry, to give them your password. Disable face recognition, or, you know, do it now, is what I would say. Oh, that came out of nowhere. Hey, just me. Thank you so very much. Question. What's your favorite popcorn flavor? I am sorry to disappoint you. My favorite popcorn flavor is popcorn. You know, I go old school. When on those very rare occasions, I mean, as some of you may know, I did make popcorn the other night because, the Donald Musk thing was a popcorn moment for sure. I make popcorn in a pot rather, with olive oil and sea salt. That's how I do it, and it's awesome. When I was a kid, I ate more Cracker Jacks than any one human being should. So, I guess caramel used to be one of my favorite. Now it's just straight up popcorn, little, olive oil and salt. Although, of course, if I go to a movie theater, I get the popcorn they have, which has fake butter on it. I don't add any of the lard, but I do like the fake buttery taste at a movie theater. One more thing, when you go to a protest, record everything. Liz, thank you so very much for becoming a new member. Love it. Avic Douglas 0155, super sticker. Thank you very much for that. Avic, that's great. And Mark, another super sticker. Fantastic. Thank you. Mom to Husky's question. Do you think there's any chance of the 25th Amendment being invoked? If this isn't enough to remove him, what will it take? Nothing. And nothing. It will take nothing. I used to think that there was a line. I no longer do. As long as he is of use to them, they're not getting rid of him. It would take something almost unthinkable, or just so deeply embarrassing. I know, it's like, really? More embarrassing than what we've lived through? Yeah. Use your imagination. You know the kind of thing I'm talking about. Somebody who's like so lost control over his faculties that he does things that, are just unacceptable, even by Republican fascist standards. But I think we should not hope for that outcome. It's extraordinarily unlikely at this point. Trust the dog. Question: when will Congress grow a spine and impeach? Never. Not this Congress? No. The only hope for impeachment is if the Democrats take back the House, and then that is a waste of time. I think it's important. I don't mean it's a waste of time. It's an important exercise, and the American people should hear the grounds for impeachment, et cetera, et cetera. However, unless the Democrats take back the Senate with a super majority, he's never getting convicted. So the impeachment will mean nothing in terms of practical terms. So, Christopher, thank you so very much, Christopher. Question: do you think enough of the MAGA cult is starting to wake up now with everything that Donald is doing? I've been watching a lot of YouTube and TikTok videos, and this seems to be the case, I think. I don't think it's enough. I just don't. I think that potentially Elon Musk could play a role here in turning the tide, because he does kind of split off some of the base. But the only thing I see that could potentially play a role is if people, not in the base, but people who voted for Donald because, they're just sort of knee-jerk Republicans, or they couldn't vote for a woman or whatever, they start to come to their senses. I think the more we see of that, the better. But I really don't hold out. If you're in a cult, you're in a cult for a reason, and it takes a lot to come to the realization that you are in a cult and should no longer be in one. PNWUT. Sorry, not sure if I'm getting that. First of all, thank you so much. Comment: perhaps Taco's trip save is symbolic for America. Maybe. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say, but maybe. Let's be hopeful. Jana, question: are you willing to offer any thoughts on where the country is in 2 months or even 2 weeks? And does it involve pitchforks on the White House lawn? No, there aren't going to be pitchforks on the White House lawn. That's just for security reasons. That's just not happening. Yeah, I have to be honest with you. I am not sanguine about where we're going to be in a month or two. We are going to be in a worse place. That I am fairly confident of. I don't like saying that, but the hope, though, is that the worse things get, the more certain people start to wake up to the realities. The worse things get for the American taxpayer, American consumer, the American family, the more people start to wake up to the realities, and the more so-called leaders of the Democratic Party stop pretending that everything's just fine. We need leaders. So I don't know what else they need, but unfortunately, they're going to get it. Ara, thank you very much for that. Question, how does this end without a dictatorship? Well, the Democrats need to win in 2026. They need to win by massive margins, I believe. I don't know if I know that is possible in the House. I do not know if that's possible in the Senate. It is not a good map for Democrats in 2026. However, Democrats have been winning special elections or losing them much less badly than they normally will. They've been performing quite well in majority, like Republican plus 20 districts. So, we have to hope that the Democrats figure out how to win as much as possible. We have to hope that there are elections. That's a big one. But I think a big part of it is the American people finally getting to the point where they understand that in order to, one, they need to understand what's happening. And they need to understand that the only way to stop what's happening is to stop everything. Right? We are going to have to shut it all down. I've been saying that for a long time, and I think that we're reaching that point. I mean, this guy is about to declare martial law in this country and sick National Guard troops and active duty military on American citizens. That's it. I do not know what else we need. So, NP, thank you so very much for becoming a new member. Awesome. Collie, question, is Nerd Adventures coming back this week? Yes, because I'm back in the country. So yes, Nerd Adventures will be at 3 p.m. Eastern this Tuesday. I think that's Tuesday, June 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern. The Nerd and Avengers and I will be back. Confused Philosopher, question, do you think Taco will be ousted before the next election? I think that's extremely unlikely. Again, unless something like almost unimaginable happens, I think it's extremely unlikely. And also ousted by whom? Like, he would have to be ousted by his own party. And one, they depend on him too much. And two, I just don't think that they have the guts. And also, he's actually, he's good for them. Because they don't care about you or me or American democracy. They care about their own bottom line. Oops, what just happened? Oh, Sheila, thank you so very much for that. Another super sticker. Lynette, another super sticker. Thank you. Excellent. Betty Veronica, thank you so much as always. Sorry, 2.0. Question. Hi, Mary. Will someone build a replica Oval Office for Donald similar to that built for your not so grandfather? So he thinks he's still there. I'm not entirely convinced that hasn't happened already, to tell you the truth. I actually think I said that's that's what was going to happen if he got back into the Oval Office. That they were just going to stick him somewhere and let him think that he was still president while there was a shadow government going on. I mean, honestly, I do think that that is what's happening, but they're still letting him in the actual Oval Office. But yes, totally. All right, from Substack, Elaine H asks, have you seen the reporting from Lev Parnas? He's reporting that the National Guard sent to California is a precursor to 614 for all of the protests, no King's Day. I have not seen that specific reporting, but that does not surprise me at all. People are protesting Donald on his birthday, and he is going to have a problem with that. So this is just another excuse. So yeah, that tracks for me. Marta, question. When will you be going to another country and be interviewed? I believe you can be a major player in the world. Well, that's very kind of you. I was actually just in the UK for about 11 days, and I did speak to a lot of media in London. I was at the Hay Festival in Wales, and that was fantastic. So I got to speak to a lot of people there. I spoke in front of Cambridge Union in Cambridge. And I have every intention of going back. I think that the UK and Europeans are in some ways more receptive to what certain people in this country have to say about what's going on. They're deeply affected by it. They're very engaged and they pay attention. Americans don't pay attention to what's going on in the rest of the world. The rest of the world pays attention to what's going on here and the rest of the world. So, yes, that is definitely on my list. I think it would be, I do think that that's something that I would, that would be useful for me to do. So thank you. Kelly, new member, thank you so much. And Janice as well. Awesome. Another new member. Okay, from Substack, Margot asks, how much real damage to Donald do you think Elon will do? A lot. However, in the process, he would also be doing a massive amount of damage to himself. The question is he willing to make that sacrifice? And secondly, can he withstand it? I think he can withstand it because he has so much money. It's obscene. But he's crazy. He's a deeply disturbed person. So I think it depends a lot on also like how far Donald continues to take things. I don't know. But yes, if he's willing to do it, Elon Musk could do untold damage to Donald Trump. No doubt about it. And he hinted at that, but he stopped far short of what would need to happen. Demi, thank you so much. Happy Pride. Happy Pride to you too. Question, why does Donald hate LGBTQ? Because he is threatened by difference. He's threatened by things he doesn't understand. And he's just a hardcore homophobe who likes to exercise his almost unlimited power against the most vulnerable among us. And that would include not just immigrants, of course, but trans people in specifically, but the LGBTQ plus community in general. Basically, he's just a horrible, horrible human being. Diane, thank you very much. Question, do you think Musk will try to back Democrats or will just primary Republicans? I think he's more likely to primary Republicans, but at this point, who knows? My bigger question is, would Democrats take his money? I don't know. Better Veronica 2.0, again, thank you so very much, as always. Kitten fee. We love the kitten fees. We totally do. I just need to be home long enough to get a Mary Trump Media travel kitten. Agent 99 from Substack, question, have you a backup plan? Know the city. Oh, sorry. It's not a question. It's a comment. Have a backup plan. Know the city where you were protesting and how to get out fast. We had to do that when riots occurred when I lived in Central America. Yeah. Sad. Very sad. Yes, that's very good advice. Wherever you are, know how to get out as quickly as possible. Just common sense at this point, because we do not trust the law enforcement at the protests. I hate saying that, but they have their marching orders. So, and this is the thing. It is legal and constitutional under very rare circumstances for the president of the United States to take over command of a state's National Guard. Whether or not those conditions are met here, that's a question for another time. However, it is never ever okay for soldiers, officers, whatever, to follow illegal orders. You do not know if people there in the National Guard or the military understand that or are willing to draw the line. We just don't know. Maria, a super sticker, thank you so very much. And from Substack, question. Masks are supposedly banned for protesters, but what about gas masks? Because they will be using tear gas. Well, you know what's fascinating? They're banned for protesters, but ICE agents wear masks all the time these days. I don't know about gas masks, but I mean, if I were going to one of these things, I would bring one with me. You know, you don't have to wear it all the time. Just put it on as soon as things get dicey. And as soon as things get dicey, I'm pretty sure people aren't going to be paying attention to whether or not you put on a gas mask. Also, by the way, you cannot legally ban masks. Although they tried that during COVID. Yeah. Paul, Canadian in the house. Elbows up, guys. Comment. Thanks for your hard work. Canadians didn't vote for this mess, but we're paying the price for this idiot. Elbows up. Stay safe. Oh, see, we get it. Yeah, I know. It's horrible. Well, you know what? Most of us didn't vote for it either. It's tough. It's very, very tough. But we are hanging in there. Lori, thank you so very much. That's awesome. Vincent, thank you, Vincent. Comment. Thank you, Mary, for your sanity. Well, such as it is, we try. Thank you, Vincent. Another Canadian in the house. Sending greetings from Canada. Elbows up. Absolutely. To California. Oh, sorry. I missed that part. Elbows up to California. Yes, California. Stand strong like our Canadian friends and neighbors. And thank you also for the gift, Sheila. Kathy, another new member. Fabulous. GBW, thank you very, very much. B for guest appearance by Lyndon and your other cat. Sorry, I can't remember her name. Is it Pat on your show? Actually, my other cat's name is Cap, C-A-P. So thank you for that. I will pass that along to them. They will be thrilled. Lizzie Beth, thank you as always. Have hashtag for GI Rights Hotline for service members who receive illegal orders. Okay to post it. I would think so. Let me double check here. Yeah. Just put it in the chat. Yes, hashtag for GI Rights Hotline for service members who receive illegal orders. Yes, please do post that because I have to imagine a lot of these people don't know. How do you tell the difference between a legal order and a illegal order? And the chain of command is sacrosanct. So it's very difficult, I imagine, to withstand that kind of pressure. The more they know, the better. So thank you. Nanner, thank you very, very much. Comment pre-fine for having to miss the nerds on Tuesday. Oh, my word. Really? That's fine. But thank you. And we'll miss you there, but catch us the next Tuesday. Meistervis 11, a new member. Thank you very much. Awesome. G, a super sticker. Thank you, G. Fantastic. Another super sticker. Marilyn. Excellent. Thank you. Denissa, thank you as always. Comment, this weekend has scared me. I'm truly scared for our country. Yeah, well, I mean, we should be. We should be. Also, I was saying hashtag, and it's just a phone number. Sorry, guys. It's like, even though Twitter is not a thing anymore, sadly. I still think in terms of hashtags. After it took me like a decade to figure out what that stupid thing meant. Anyway, getting back to Denise's comment, we're living in scary times, and I don't think anybody needs to be demoralized by that. I just think we need to be honest about it. I don't think it would be rational or reasonable not to be afraid for our country, but that doesn't mean we can't stand strong in the face of what's happening. It just means we're being realistic and honest. Jillian, thank you very, very much. Comment, congratulations, Mary, on hitting 400,000. Yeah, well, you know what? Team effort. So it's fantastic. And very, very hard fought behind the scenes. And also because of you guys. So thank you. One to beam up. Can we make it two? Thank you so much for that. One, I adore your sarcasm. Well, thanks. I love being sarcastic. Two, question, do you believe there may be any truth to Thiel being behind all that is going on? Yeah, I mean, I don't put anything past the South African mafia. We've got Peter Thiel, we've got David Sachs, we've got Elon Musk, we've got their puppet, J.D. Vance. I would not be surprised at all, honestly. I just wish there were a way for somebody to expose them and get a handle on it. Meisterfist 11 again, super sticker. Thank you so much. Patty Cake, another super sticker. Thanks, Patty Cake. Smokey Joe, new member, welcome and thank you. Oh, what just happened? KM, a new member. Fabulous. Thank you. Patty Cake, hello again. Hi, Mary. After Donald's redecoration of the Oval Office, question, do you think there is a plaster embellishment or can of gold spray paint within 100 miles of DC? No, I do not. I do not. So hideous. I don't understand. That's the people's house. I get it. People live there. They want to make it their own, but there should be limits. There just should be limits. It's grotesque. Deshaun, thank you so very much. That's fantastic. Thompson's 2000 National Guard to LA. Why is that? Sorry, hang on. Let me start over. Thompson's 2000 National Guard to LA. Question, why is that? This is definitely Hitler over again, because Hitler did the same thing. He's trying to dismantle everything of human rights, no matter what they are. Yes, I mean, we can't pull punches anymore, right? We can't dance around this. We can't pretend what's happening isn't happening. I said this earlier, this is a page out of Hitler's playbook with the Reichstagsfire, which was a fabricated emergency that was used as an excuse to declare martial law. I mean, that's exactly what is going on here. And Donald and the fascist Republicans have been gunning for this for years. So none of this should surprise us, and none of this should be whitewashed. So thank you for that. Truth consequences. Question. Any chance the Thiel Musk Vance faction could get a cabinet vote on Amendment 25? No. No, Vance is not, doesn't have enough political capital or strength. And the feud aside, Musk has a lot to lose. If you know that expression, you go for the king, you best not miss. That also applies to idiots and morons who occupy the Oval Office. You have to be very sure of your position. And Musk is way too dependent on the largesse of the federal government to, put a foot wrong. So I think that's highly unlikely. I'm not going to say that they're not working on it. I mean, I don't know if they are or not, but they may well be. Deshaun, thank you again. Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see. In the majority of the people that use religion, which it worked by whatever they saw that is isolated, they blame a whole group for it fell for Donald's schemes because it's fear. Listen, I think a lot of religious people in this country have been misled. They've been they've been lied to, and they've been exploited. And for whatever reason, they are I'm talking about specific groups, especially white evangelicals and certain extremist Catholics are very susceptible to Donald and sort of the wholesale takeover of the Republican Party. I'm not a sociologist, so I don't know why that is, but it's something we need to acknowledge. And it's pretty grotesque when somebody like Donald Trump is held up as some kind of exemplar for deeply religious, so-called God-fearing people. It's just blows my mind. Torin, thank you very, very much. For my question regarding the psychological makeup of those who support Donald. That's a very complicated question. I don't have time to answer it right now, but let's just say short version, there are a lot of people. Well, I mean, it relates to one part of it relates to what I was just talking about. Many people in this country have been lied to, and they're vulnerable, and that those vulnerabilities have been exploited by a political party that is perfectly happy lying to them. Also, I think we fail to acknowledge that there's a significant percentage of this people in this country who have what are called authoritarian personalities. That means not that they're authoritarians. That means that they need strong leaders to follow. They don't like change. And they prefer things to stay as they are. And those people have also been exploited by the current regime. Dancing Dakini from Substack question, how do I become a member? And what's the story with stickers? Okay. To become a member, if you go to the homepage, you will see subscriptions. And just so we're clear, we're talking about paid subscriptions, it is free to subscribe to our channel and get access to our live shows and almost all of our content. But for paid subs, there are different levels of membership. So with the stickers and the what are they called? Emojis? I don't remember. Sorry. Those are just like that's at the lowest level. And again, if you subscribe at a higher level, you get everything that you would have gotten at the lower level too. We just keep adding things. So it's just the stickers are just things that you can add to your comments in the chat to kind of represent. And I'm talking about the YouTube channel memberships, by the way. So that's all those are. It's just a fun thing that you can add to your comments. Sorry, what's the other part of your? Yeah, so if you just go to subscriptions and just check out all the different levels, and then you'll just click on whichever one you're interested in. It's pretty straightforward. But thank you for asking, because I do need to clarify that more frequently. AGZ Freddy 1983, thank you so much for your £5. Fabulous. Question, what do you think the USA is going to be like by the time the 2026 midterms or the end of Donald's term arrives? I kind of don't want to speculate too much because that is a very, very long time from now. We've already seen what happened after the first 100 days. Let's get there to the next 100 days first. I'm worried. I'm very, very worried. This country is almost unrecognizable, not just domestically, but in terms of our relationships with our allies, in terms of our economy, in terms of the divisions among us. It's quite disturbing how quickly things have unraveled. But again, they've been laying the groundwork for this for a very long time, which is why it is increasingly important that we have strong independent media so that people can get the actual information they need, which I do not believe we are getting from corporate media right now. And we have not for a very long time. So again, I'm not going to speculate about a year and a half out, but we are going to be on this every single day. So, just hang with us. Sorry. Oh, wait. What just happened? I don't know what just happened. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Bart, thank you so very much. Comment, I am very religious and I think Donald Trump is the Antichrist the Bible warns us about. The fact so many Christians are falling for it is mind-boggling. Yeah, I mean, I know other fairly religious Christians who also believe he is the Antichrist. I think the problem is that there is the way people are taught their particular brand of Christianity. So much of what people believe that they are told is Christian really isn't, at least not according to the New Testament. I mean, so much of what they purport to believe has nothing to do with what the teachings of Jesus Christ. It's shocking, actually. So, yeah, I'm with you. It is just mind-blowing and mind-boggling. Last question from Substack. William asks, what can embarrass Donald? Well, mockery. Mock him. Relentlessly, mercilessly, endlessly. I mean, there's so much to mock him about. And I think, he just unravels in the face of pushback. Like, he cannot handle it when anybody pushes back. He really just loses it. But nobody continues to press. It's so very, very frustrating. And unfortunately, I think he sort of put himself beyond the reach of it. The worst thing for him is to be humiliated. So he's so protected. Like, almost all of his psychic energy is spent protecting him from being humiliated. And he's now surrounded by so many sycophants because he has so much power that it's very difficult to get to him, But it wouldn't be hard. It's the getting to him part that's hard. So, yeah. Hopefully somebody will figure it out. And a couple of wait. Okay. And finally, Sir Ed. Thank you, Sir Ed. Fabulous. Much appreciated. Okay, guys, that does it for us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to be back with you after what seemed like a very long hiatus. But yep, back for good. Well, not for good. For the foreseeable future. So just don't forget, here every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern for Ask Mary Anything Within Reason. Mary Trump Live, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Also, we've got the Nerds every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And please don't forget, we have videos dropping every single day. So the easiest way to support us, other than just subscribing to our channel, which again is free, is to watch and share our videos and comment on them. That really, really helps us to spread the word, let other people know what we're doing over here. And thank you, of course, to our super stickers, to people giving us gifts, and to people who are joining as paid subscribers. We so appreciate that. You have no idea. To our fantastic moderators, thank you for the great job you do. I know it's not easy, and I know you do it voluntarily. So, what else? It's Sunday, I think. So I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Mary Trump Live. Thank you, of course, to my amazing team. And tonight, that is Mercedes, who helps me get through this, despite the fact that I still have jet lag, which doesn't seem fair, but I won't for long. So that does it for us. Thanks, guys, so much. I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for Mary Trump Live. In the meantime, everybody, please, first of all, check out our other videos and stay safe and be kind.